I'll tell you a secret I have on my nightgown. Let's go.
We're getting comfortable with the one and only Jill Scott. And we've got the stories that define the week on People in 10. I'm Andrea Belke, bringing you everything you need to know about pop culture right now. We've got 10 minutes, so let's dive right in with the first 5, starting with one of the most viewed stories on People.com this week. Ryan Reynolds is opening up about how he met his wife, Blake Lively. And as Ryan revealed to the Smartless podcast hosts Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett, he made the first move.
The two met when they first co-starred in a superhero movie in 2011, in which they actually played love interests.
I met Blake on the darkest crease in the anus of the universe called Green Lantern.
And then the two remained in touch until Ryan's big moment arrived.
Next thing you know, she was going to Boston, I was going to Boston, so I was like, well, I'll ride with you. We got on the train and rode together, and then
it happened on the train.
I was just begging her to sleep with me.
Ryan also remembers how quickly they went from casual to serious.
Ryan described it as something like out of a fairy tale.
A week later, I was like, well, we should buy a house together.
Nice. Wow.
I know, and we did.
And since then, the couple has gone on to marry and have 3 daughters together.
When you know, you know. Now onto the posts you've been loving this week. Kanye West is back on the gram after almost 3 years, posting a slideshow of gold necklaces featuring the names of his and his ex, Kim Kardashian's 4 kids. Ye's return comes as he prepares to release his new album, Donda, this Friday. And Halsey's bundle of joy is here. The singer and boyfriend, Aleb Aiden, announced the euphoric arrival of their first child, Ender Ridley, with a set of intimate black and white photos, as Halsey wrote that the birth was, quote, powered by love. And speaking of love, Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra are all about the social media PDA. First, Nick marked his wife's 39th birthday over the weekend with a sweet throwback post. Then the next day, Priyanka shared this never-before-seen photo of the couple holding hands in honor of their 3rd engagement anniversary. And our girl Dolly Parton knows just what to get her man.
You're probably wondering why I'm dressed like this. Well, it's for my husband's birthday.
Yes, the 75-year-old recreated her 1978 Playboy magazine cover as a birthday present for her husband of over 5 decades, Carl Thomas Dean. Talk about keeping the spark alive. Dolly and Carl are such couple goals. We hope these newlyweds are taking notes.
Over the weekend, radio personality Bobby Bones married Caitlin Parker at their Nashville area home.
And it was the perfect venue.
One of their first decisions as a couple was picking out their new house, so Caitlin suggested it as the setting for their special day.
And the bride looked beautiful in a Galia La Havre gown as she made her way down the aisle.
Bobby and Caitlin's 2 dogs were part of the ceremony, which is a really sweet personal touch, and tennis pro Andy Roddick was one of the groomsmen.
And their reception sounded delicious.
The couple served apps on marble plates that were actually in the shape of their home states, Arkansas and Oklahoma, and for a send-off, they had a sonic pop-up at the end of the night.
WNBA coach Derek Fisher also said I do to Gloria Govan over the weekend after their wedding was delayed due to COVID.
They thought about having a Zoom wedding, but they ultimately reconsidered that because they realized they wanted their families to be there. And they tell us that they couldn't be happier with their decision to wait.
Our congrats to both of these happy couples. All right, get excited. The Tokyo Summer Olympics kick off tomorrow, and we'll be bringing you all the highlights over the next 4 weeks. Brought to you by Lilly, a medicine company. The 2020 Games are finally here after being postponed due to the pandemic, and the athletes are pulling out all the stops to make their Olympic dreams come true. We are loving some of their pre-competition rituals. Track and field's Vashti Cunningham watches Kill Bill the night before her high jump events, while soccer captain Becky Sauerbrunn swears by taking a nap to calm her pre-game anxiety. And first-time Olympian karate star Ariel Torres never competes without his lucky underwear. Hey, whatever works. But it's been a rocky start so far, with 2 USA hopefuls, tennis prodigy Coco Gauff and gymnastics alternate Cara Aker, testing positive for COVID this week, leaving them unable to compete. As of now, there are over 70 reported positive cases connected to the Games. But the show must go on, as athletes like USA's Simone Biles tirelessly train to prepare for their events. And although these Games will be a bit different than past Olympics, with no spectators or family and no shouting or cheering, there's one thing for sure. These athletes have come from all over the world to give it their all. The 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games opening ceremony kicks off on Friday, July 23rd at 7 a.m. Eastern on NBC. Kate Winslet is getting Best Actress Emmy buzz for her gritty performance in HBO's Mare of Easttown.
Doing something great is overrated.
And how does she feel about being recognized for her work?
I feel like all 16 of my children just graduated.
In this week's People, Kate is opening up about her perspective as a woman in Hollywood.
This is a new dawn for all women. I think that we are looking out for one another in completely different ways.
And one of those ways is L'Oreal's new Lights on Women Award, which honors one rising female filmmaker at the Cannes Film Festival. Just days ago, Kate was on hand to announce the winner and tells us why celebrating women in the industry is so important.
Because it not only goes to show that there are extraordinarily talented filmmakers globally, but there is a hunger for their voices to be heard. We want to know what women have to say. And that, I think, is the biggest shift that we're feeling at the moment.
Now, let's move on to another talented woman in this week's Screen Time. I'm joined now by actress and singer Jill Scott. Her show First Wives Club is back for season 2 and streaming now on BET+.
Time is money. She gets started. Time is a construct of the patriarchy. Oh, Lord, give me strength.
You look stunning.
Thank you. I'll tell you a secret I have on my nightgown. Let's go.
Let's jump right into our 1 through 5 series of questions. So for every question, I'll ask you to give a certain amount of answers, 1 through 5. So let's get started. Season 2 of First Wives Club brings us right back into the lives and friendship of Hazel, Bree, and Ari.
Hazel, when you come back from tour, you're supposed to come back with laryngitis, not an 18-year-old man-child.
One of the themes of this show is that sometimes life is predictable and sometimes it catches you by surprise. So what is one experience that you've had that caught you by surprise and turned out for the best?
Getting pregnant. That was a shock. I was told I couldn't have children, so I thought I was dying. I didn't know, but surprise, surprise, I had a healthy, strong baby boy.
Favorite thing about being a mom?
When you've worked on a lesson and you see it working. He's got the whole world in his hands.
He's got the whole wide world in his hands.
That is my favorite part.
Is there a certain lesson that you're thinking of in particular?
Smelling good. Like boys, they get to a certain age and they smell like sandwiches. We talked a lot about what it means to not smell like a sandwich and to actually make sure that your underarms are ding, ding.
First Wives Club focuses on the incredible friendships of these 3 women, and we often see them go out for a girls' night.
About to get litty!
So, for you, when you have a girls' night out or a girls' day, what are 2 go-to activities?
1, we have to have an amazing lunch, and then we have to hit Home Goods.
Am I in heaven?
Close. It's Home Goods.
It's a must. I love it. I love to save money. I love to buy cute stuff. It's a thing.
I saw that you were fishing for your birthday.
This is what I'm doing for my birthday.
Is that an activity that now you're gonna do more regularly, or is that a one-off?
Oh, no. I fly fish.
Oh man, that's number 4 today.
I've just been in love with it. It's such peace of mind. It's beautiful and it's an escape.
You've also got your podcast, Jill Scott Presents J.Ill the Podcast, where you have candid conversations about relationships, health, culture, and so much more. What are 3 things you've learned about yourself since starting the podcast?
The podcast has been one of my favorite things to do because I have an opportunity to just really share and be completely raws off, talking to my girlfriends.
Let's talk about it right now, Jill.
I learned that I was light-skinned. I always thought that I was brown. I learned about how the educational system can be better.
The educational system in this country, it mirrors the carceral system also. School be functioning a whole lot like jail.
How educating your child needs to be as specific and as individual as they are. 3, I learned just because you're right doesn't mean you should do it.
You have never lied. You have never lied.
We see in the show how friendships make these characters' lives so much better. So I'd love to know, what are 4 things that are currently making your life much better?
My son, he's witty, he's funny, he's sweet, he's cool. I like him so much. My man, my sister, who is just such a huge support, and my nephew,
You mentioned your man. What's the go-to date night? What do you guys like to get into?
We like to go to MMA fights. He's studied jiu-jitsu, so he understands it. I just love the fact that there's so many types and forms of battle that you can engage in.
What are 5 things that viewers are gonna see on this season of First Wives Club?
Some smooching. You're gonna see some real camaraderie.
Clear your schedules and suit up.
You're going to see some water. You're going to see some honesty between couples.
This is a family decision.
You feel that? Do you feel that? That's growth.
Give it.
And you're gonna see some laughter.
The Spanish Jesus was sent to heal your vagina and your marriage.
There's definitely a bunch of that in there.
Jill, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, be sure to watch the new season of First Wives Club. It's streaming right now on BET+. All right, time's up. See you next Thursday.